Hello everyone, Pockets here, back again playing some more EVE Online, and we're back on Cursed in our Dominix for at least one last ride. I just want to show how I use it as a proper sniper instead of that pseudo-brawling thing I did before that obviously didn't work so well. And after this I'm going to decide whether I keep the Dominix around or just go full on with the Rattlesnake and sell or give away or raffle or something the Dominix. But I want to do one video using it as a proper sniper platform, how it's intended to be used. And so let's just get into it. I do currently have a Blockade mission pulled, so we're going to go ahead and run that. It's right in the same system, which will be perfect. And this is a good one because there's lots of ships and lots of triggers. And we're just going to get right into it. When running this type of mission with this ship, I don't even too much worry about the triggers. I just kill the small stuff as it comes in, and then the next up, and the next up, and I work my way through. And if I spawn too many battleships, so far it hasn't been an issue. Yeah, so, and I'm going to do the salvager thing as well, because this is how I kind of start each mission. So just so I don't mess anything up. Well, I'm going to mess it up anyway, but you know. So we're going to start warping right to the location. As usual, since I don't have guns, I just put my regular modules on here so I can activate them nice and quick with my F1 keys like that. And here we go. So the first step is we warp to location. As soon as we land, we start aligning out, away from the bad guys, and we drop an MTU right there. Because usually the stuff will spawn in that zone, so this should keep everything kind of within range of the MTU for later pickup and salvage. So I'll show you doing that here in a moment. There's my large micro jump drive and an armor repper that we rarely use in this situation. For drones, we're mostly going to use the wardens. Guards if things get in a little close, and then if something smaller like cruisers or frigates get in tight, we'll switch over to the hammerheads or hobgoblins. But usually for battleships, the guards work fine right close. Anything under sort of 30 kilometers seems to be the way to go. Alright, so we are landing. And there's no gate, so we're just going to see which side we land on. We're going to land there. Okay, so we're going to kind of just align out this way, straight away from the baddies. Once our warp is over, this is what I do. Warps over, I get him started to line up, I launch this for myself, and I activate my jump drive, and while I'm jumping, I save the location. Just like that. Don't worry about this initial damage, it's fine. Shields don't matter. There we go. Now you can see we're like over 100 kilometers out. I just start targeting everything, stop my ship, and we will launch our wardens, the long range ones. We do have a webbing tower here, it looks like, so we're going to get rid of that in case we do have to move. I don't think it actually matters, to be honest. So we'll actually leave it because we're not moving anyways. So the web actually helped, and we'll just start by taking out these destroyers because they're the ones that are going to close the distance quickest and be the most threat to my wardens. So there's one. You can see it's taking them out pretty quick. We'll just put it on there. I accidentally hit F1 instead of F. So we'll turn on our tracking computer again. We'll get this one, and then we'll just start working our way through the battleships. So this one's the closest. We'll take him first, and I sort of just do that, whatever's closest. Webbing doesn't start up on micro jump drive, so we can just ignore it. And we'll just, there you go. So you can see it just tearing them apart. Basically, as they're so far away and they're coming straight at us, and they're not traveling all that fast, we're applying pretty decent damage to them. And they're not hitting us at all because they're too far away. And then I've had it where they get right in tight and start hitting me, and I just rep a couple reps while I kill them with guards. If this was a multi-room, so something like an Angel or a Serpentis Extravaganza, what I'll usually do is on the final wave when there's one or two, when I'm sort of working on the second to last battleship, or once the third last battleship drops, I'll call my drones and I'll warp back to the gate and then finish off the battleships from close. That gives my jump drive a chance to recharge before I take the gate, so I can jump out right away rather than finishing it off, jumping to the gate, and then having to wait. You know, its recharge time, the cooldown is 180 seconds. So that's, 3 minutes. So I like to get the last 2 or 3 ships period dealt with before I... Ooh, they actually spawned pretty close. We'll probably have to start dealing with these things here. Still not a problem. Not worried at all. Tracking the disruption, sensor dampening doesn't seem to be an issue either. They're too far away to have any real effect. So we're going to start getting this stuff dealt with, because they're going to be more threat than these battleships, even if the battleships get close. And worst case, what I can do is I can zoom out and we see where stuff is. Like if we take out this group, then we can jump over this way and start pulling them across if we have to. Oh, it actually did just dampen us. That is special. We're going to get rid of these two then, as soon as we can. Worst case, we'll put our stuff on. There we go. So they're the big ones. Oh, there's lots of dampening happening in this site. That's okay though. Let's just get them and we'll get our drones on them as quick as we can to get rid of them. If we start taking damage, we'll just load up and jump away. I haven't actually had that much problems with dampening on this ship. That's the first time I can remember it happening. So we'll get rid of some of it. Just not a problem. Still not taking any damage. And we'll just wipe out these cruisers. If they get under 30, we'll switch to guards. Because guards track a little better. Oh, something damped us. It's okay. We'll just keep targeting up the problem ships. They starting to hit me yet? No. We're doing just fine. Okay, so that's them gone. We'll try to get rid of these two as well. See, the battleship's still way out, 70 kilometers. They just go so slow. And we'll be able to take care of all this stuff once we have the dampening dealt with. Make sure that my drones are close if they're within 24 or 25, so I can actually scoop them or recall them easily enough. We'll take care of the last of these dampening cruisers. So this mission gives me a lot of trouble in my Rattlesnake, which would be one reason to keep this around, is to running blockades. Although blockades don't pay that as much as they're for the time that they take, so I usually try to skip them. Unless I'm doing a salvaging, like we need a lot of salvage, in which case I'm not doing it for risk, I'm doing it for salvage, then I'll still run it. But outside of that, I usually try to skip it these days. And we'll just see here. So those are the last two major dampening guys, right? Was this guy selected? No, we need him. We'll get him in a minute. We got this one. Beautiful. And yeah, it looks like we're going to have to switch to guards or maybe some hobgoblins here in a moment once we get these two guys out of here. That's one. Let's see if we can take that one out while we wait for this ship to come in closer. Or to get locked up. Yep, we got him. Good. One destroyer down. They're actually starting to take a bit of damage from Chief Infantry. Yeah, these guys. It's okay. We're doing alright. Just getting rid of these dampers. Dampening and jamming makes me annoyed, but it'd be nice if there was a better way to play around it rather than just... The ECM should do more. The ECCM. We noticed that on the Rattlesnake when I last tried to do it, that the ECCM didn't seem to stop enough of it, even at like 90% efficiency. So, oh, there's another one. It's alright. I'll take out this guy. I think we can still track these. They're still coming straight, so the wardens should be okay on them. See what happens here. Yeah, not a problem. Can I have this guy targeted, please, so I can kill him so he can stop making my life miserable? That'd be fantastic. There he is. We'll get him shot. And then we will target up these. We'll switch to guards. And I'm just going to hold tight until I feel like I'm in danger. And we'll get these ripped up. So you see, it's not actually taking too long, considering we're 200 or 100 kilometers away from where we came in. That's not bad. So we'll take him out. We'll wipe these guys out with guards. There he goes. He's dropping. One more hit. We'll call these guys. And let's try these guards out. We're about to go into armor, but I'm still not worried. Guards can shoot that guy, please. So the guards are shorter range, better tracking than the wardens, and do more damage. So once they get in close, it's good to switch. And we're watching our armor tank. Now we're into armor, but they're barely touching us because of our resists. We're actually into our proper tank now, so no problem there. These battleships are getting a little close. I might reposition. Probably, where are we? There's our there, so probably like over here. So let's do that right after this guy drops. We'll reposition. Come on, get him down. Okay, and we'll reposition this way, like here. So we just basically pick a new location, wait for the ship to turn, and as it gets close to being aligned, like that, we can start the countdown on the jump drive. Turn off our tank, our repper for a minute, because we're about to jump and get out of this damage, and we'll just get them back out. With the Wardens, I can shoot it to 200 kilometers, so I'm not. Yeah, that's beautiful. Just start targeting up some of this crap. One of those will be the trigger for the next wave. We'll stop our ship. Give it a second to come down so we don't drift too far out. Launch our Wardens. And continue tearing these things apart. Let's get this guy first because he's closer. And we'll just sort of sort these by distance. There we go. And we're back in position. You can see we're not taking any hits again because we're over 100 kilometers away from most things. And we'll just keep tearing them down. And since we're pulling them back this way, they're not going to get out of range of the MTU, which is right there. So if we have to jump again, we'll kind of jump this way. We've got to watch for the spawns because they kind of spawn in this area though, so we'll see how it goes. We're actually getting into a point where our shields are regenning a bit, which is nice. That guy's almost dead. Let's immediately switch our drones over to the next cruiser and continue working our way through it. And we do this till the mission's complete. So this is why the Rattlesnake's a little more fun, although with the Dominix, if I'm going to sit down here and watch Netflix or something with the wife, I can actually run missions while watching Netflix, you know, when she's not needing me to pay attention to her, as wives do. But it's a nice alternative to a more active running of missions in the Rattlesnake. I have a lot more fun in the Rattlesnake, which is why I run it more often than not. And usually when I'm watching Netflix, I don't want to play Eve anyway. So that's why I think I'll probably end up selling this one, but it served me well. It does what it does. Rattlesnake is just a little more involved. I'm actually thinking I might raffle this off within the corp, and some new guy may get himself a nice shiny battleship to train into if he can't fly it already. The nice thing is it uses faction. It'll come with faction sentry drones, so it doesn't take. You don't have to train the 30 days train into T2 sentries, which would be just quite hard. And we'll see how this goes here. But yeah, we're just going to grind away this last battle cruiser. Oops, I almost targeted the stasis, but I don't need to kill the stasis. And let's just see. We'll get the closer battleship first, which will be this one. One of these probably. Let's just take a quick look and see. Yeah, one of these three might be the triggers, so that's great. Hopefully it's this one. Doesn't matter if we spawn another wave, we'll just deal with it. As you can see, it's not really a problem. We don't worry about the waves so much. I could probably blitz with this fit if I wanted to just target the triggers down and get the final spawn. Just jumping away every couple minutes, but I need to salvage it. We need more salvage, so I'll do with a full clear. This one's now closer. Actually, this one's the closest. We'll get him. Basically just take the closest one because they're the biggest threat. Because as they get closer, they start being able to hit me and they start doing more and more damage, so take out the closest guy first. I didn't want to target that. Force the habit. The web of fire has no effect on me, so I don't need to worry about it. So we'll just wait for that to finish and I'll untarget him because I don't care. Just like that. So Control Shift click on the thing to untarget it. I'm using Control click to target things in my overview, so because those guys that aren't aware of those shortcuts, it's nicer than having to click on it and click up here. You can just hold Control and click through. I'm sure I've talked about that before, but it's nice to remind people of these time-saving little shortcuts. What else are we doing here? So far so clean. Could probably save these rear admirals, but whatever. probably actually have to warp this way, further away. We'll see what the next wave comes in. So I think I might have come too close to the beacon, because that's where they'll come in. We'll see. Still 100 kilometers away from there, so it should be alright. Should be alright. Our micro jump drive's good again, so we're good to go anytime we need to. Take this one out because they're about the same, and I've already hit him for a bit, so he'll take less to take down. And yeah, this is why people call them boring fits. They're very effective, and you can do all sorts of other things. I mean, I know guys that have multiple accounts, they mine on another screen while they're running missions, so this is a great combo. You can manage both screens fine. I don't mine, so that doesn't bother me. I could probably do 2 missions, just 2 Dominixes, and set 2 sets of missions at the same time, or even run them together. That's another option. But for now, one guy, just do what I do. We'll just grind this thing down. This is the second wave. I'm pretty sure this, just because it's, you know, Murphy's Law, this is going to be the trigger, and I'm going to get my next wave here in a second. Oh, we didn't. Sweet. So they are starting to hit me just a tiny, tiny little bit. I think I probably killed the one that was close enough to actually damage me. So this one will probably start hitting me here momentarily. Let's go look at him. Here we go. Dominix with railguns. That's something. You can see I've got him into armor. He's starting to... Oh, yeah. Good hit. You can see him shooting at me way over there. And those little blue lines coming in are my drones shooting back. I should get a Serpentis skin. Close this. Oh, we're into... Ooh, we've taken a sliver of armor damage. We may have to bail out of here. Look it. Alright. Back to my ship. How's he doing? He's just sitting here being all super tough. We'll grind that last one down. See, they're getting a little closer and starting to sort of traverse. A little bit. Seems to be. So that's why I'm having a little bit more trouble tracking them with the wardens, but they're too far out yet to switch to guards, so we'll just let it be. Now we're going to kill this one last, I'm pretty sure he's the trigger. And... yeah. So Mal, I know I haven't talked about it much lately, but Malro's still going strong, we're still recruiting, so if you guys want to come run missions, we do mission fleets on occasion, where we just, all of us get into our... well, battleships or whatever, the biggest thing we can fly, and just run level 4 missions for standings for people and all that jazz, so that's a lot of fun. Last time we did it, we had a Caracal and a Drake with us, plus 3 battleships, and we just landed and tore them apart. I'd like to try that again now that I have a Rattlesnake. I haven't actually done it with the Rattlesnake yet. The Marauder had half the room cleared by the time I finished getting into position with my Dominix last time, so that was a little annoying, but it's funny. So it definitely makes me want a Marauder, but yeah. Okay, down to our last 2 battleships in this wave. Just go ahead and pulse our Repper because it does repair at the end of the cycle, as I've said before. And we'll just try to top off that one little bit. Oh, we took a little hit. Taking some from the Rear Admiral, this guy. Can I shoot him? Why does that... oh, jeez, I turned off all my stuff. Wrong button. Used the wrong thing. Force of habit, I've been using the Rattlesnakes. I've been F1ing it a lot. Okay, so that guy's going to drop, and then we'll get this guy down, and then the next wave will come in. We'll see how bad that is. And the 4th wave, and there is a chance on the Blockade, if I remember correctly, of a Serpentis spawn, which would be great. We could use some extra Serpentis modules to sell. Make a little extra ISK. I'm kind of building my way back up to almost 300 mil, so that's not bad. I do have to buy some ammo for my Rattlesnake. I'm almost out of Scourge missiles. So, gonna have to spend some money to run some more missions with that, but doing okay. Back on Malro, because, you know, gotta talk about it. Our mining division is actually getting up and running pretty strong now. We brought in a mining director to focus strictly on it, so constantly having fleets up for that now, which is great, getting us the materials we need to build the things we want. Everything's going well. The biggest thing is just getting the mission groups and the roam groups together so we can learn to fight. I think we had a low sec roam last night. I haven't heard how it went. I'll have to check with the FC there. But I think they took battleships down into low sec and had some fun, or not battleships, battle cruisers down into low sec and had some fun. So we'll see how it goes. But things are picking up once again. You can see there's lots of blue in system. Some of them are in other systems. I'm not showing you down here, but in our chat, there's more blue. So things are going well. Let's just pulse this again just to keep our armor topped up in case we get into trouble. There's another 6 million from bounties. And yeah, just sit back, have a drink, shoot some Serpentis rats, and generate salvage. That's the name of the game today. I almost want to just shoot that stasis web. I'm going to shoot the stasis tower just to get it out of my... just to get rid of this ugly bubble around my ship. So we'll take it out quick while we let these things... Yeah, they spawned in nice and far too, so we'll be okay here. Let's take that out. Screw it. I need that last one. Can we shoot this? Thanks. Oh man, I just bumped my... Ugh, having problems with that today. And let's turn all this back on with my hotkeys. So what I'm used to doing is turning on the whole rack just by running my finger across the F keys. And since I have them all of my targeting and tracking modules, and I just lost tracking on all that stuff. Since I use it on my tracking modules up there on this ship, darn it! See? One day I'll stop doing that. It'll be fantastic. There we go. All but one. We'll turn this one back on in a second. Can I get drones there, please? I'll start targeting these things back up. These take so long to cycle. I have to remember to turn that back on because that's my optimal range tracking script, which helps my wardens hit out further and more accurately. Once these frigates are locked up, I will shoot them next. We'll probably drop this battleship first. And once we get the wardens shoot out to like 200 kilometers, so I'm not worried about it. And once we're docked up, I'll show you the fit again, and I'll also post it in the comments down below if people want to try it. There's probably some tweaking that can be done if you wanted to switch it up, turn it into like a close range brawling fit, but this is why I built it, was to be able to sit way out here, not worry about it, and shoot stuff. Let the MTU gather it all up, and then come back later in a salvaging ship and pick it up. Here we got one more. And we'll turn this back on to get our optimal range back up where it needs to be. It's a nice smashing hit for almost 500 damage. Shoot that guy. This time I did it without messing up my active modules. Yeah, making short work of these frigates, which is a nice thing over using like ogres and stuff. Because they're so far out, you just snipe them out. I like it. There we go. And this is the third wave, so I think we get one more wave after this. I think there's 3 total waves in the blockade. Or 4 total. There's the initial spawn. There might be 5 including the initial spawn now that I'm thinking about it. We'll see. It's fine. It's not like we're in any sort of hurry. We can just kind of sit here and do it. In fact, these ships are so far away. Let's just... This one's going to be the trigger, so I'll move him. Alright. So once again, large semiconductor memory cell just to get a little bit extra cap for when we do have to run our shield armor repper. 2 auxiliary nano pumps for the same reason, just to give us a bit more rep when we need it. The 6 drone leg augmenters in the high to bring our drone control range up to over 200. This because despite no matter what the range of your drone is, they can't engage a target that's outside your drone control range. So if I could only shoot to 70, or if I could shoot to 200 but only drone control range to 70, like on my rattlesnake, then the sentries can't shoot out past 70. And that's just the way it is, so that's why this is full. I did have a remote armor rep here once, but I've never needed it, and the extra range helps more, so there you go. Large micro jump drive. Obviously we saw what that does. 2 omnidirectional tracking links, pretty much always with Optimarine scripts. I don't even think I have other scripts on me. This brings up our optimal and fall-off range of our drones. So that allows the wardens to shoot out to 200 kilometers, and I'll show you that. 2 remote sensor boosters. I meted these down for fitting because T2s use too much CPU fitting, so there we go. And these are often fit with a targeting range script, so I can target out to 200 kilometers, because without it I can only do 138. 1 Corpus extra large, or X type large armor repper for repping when we need it, which is very rarely. Some basic tank, so a Shadow Serpentis, energized adaptive nanomembrane, passive. And then a thermal. These are rat specific, so I swap these out depending on the rats we're fighting. So T2 armor hardeners. Let's take out this Admiral. There he goes. And then 3 times drone link or drone damage amplifiers. Based on how much time I damage I actually take, I might drop one of these and just put a 4th one of these in here to squeeze a tiny bit more damage out of my drones. But we'll see. If I keep the Dominix, maybe we'll look into that. And then for drones, I just carry a full wing of 5 wardens, which we're using now. Let's turn these off because we're not using those. We're using those. Full wing of guards when things getting close. Hammerheads to deal with cruisers that get in too tight. And hobgoblins to deal with frigates and stuff. I usually carry a set of salvaging drones, but I pulled those off into another ship just for now. Was not intending to do any salvaging, but I do that sometimes when I have to wait for my micro warp drive, as I showed, or my micro jump drive to warm up or cool down. I'll salvage a couple wrecks, but that's just something to do while idling the time. And then my cargo hold just the optimal range scripts. I don't know why there's 4 in the ghost fitting, but 2 of each, and they're just in here. They're not actually in the cargo, and that's it. Very simple. Comes in at about 430. I think I paid 450 once everything came in. And that's again with the Caldari Navy Guards and Wardens. We're about to get our next wave. We'll take out the small stuff first, and then the cruisers, and the battleships. Don't know why I bother doing it in that order, but because I'm going to actually lock onto the battleships first, obviously. They're already trying to damp me, eh? Okay, well, we'll deal with them first if we can. Wow, look at it all. All the damps. Let's drop these battleships for now and get those frigates locked up so we can kill them. Because they're also dampening me, apparently. All 3 cruisers can damp, I think? Yeah, they're all guardians or safeguards, so we'll have to get rid of all those. Let's get this other frigate locked up for now. Actively dampening me are the cruisers, so let's get them gone. So you know that it succeed when you get the little cooldown bar on this icon here. If it's just sitting like this, it doesn't matter. That means that they're trying to damp you, but it's not succeeding. We could technically, once things are under, we could swap these out for ECCM scripts, but I haven't had much luck with that. I don't know if it affects NPCs. Maybe it doesn't. That's something I should probably look into. It doesn't seem to, I guess, is what I'm saying. Because I seem to get just as damped with the CCM script as I do without. There are some skills, actually, we can talk about that too if you get annoyed. There's some skills you can train. I don't even know what I have mine up to. If we look into... I don't remember where they are. They are in targeting. Yeah, so I have most of them up to 3 or 4. So gravimetric for Galente ships, and so on. Magnum. Oh, actually, this might be Galente ships, which might also help. We'll have to check. I can check the sensors like this. So if you train up, there's 1 for each race. If you train up those skills, it makes you more resistant to E-War. It's not one of those things I've spent much time on. I probably should. So if we scroll down, it should tell us what type. Let's take a look at it here. Yeah, right here. So magnometric. So I don't even have the skill trained for this one. So 22 points. Probably train that up if I hate dampening so much, but again, I don't know if it affects NPCs, so we can target our battleships now. I don't think this is the last wave. I think there's a High Admiral or a Lord Admiral or something in the final wave, and I don't see him here. So 8. Wow, this will be the odd one out, so he'll be the trigger probably. Let's take out these frigates. Oops, I probably could have done the closer one first, but that's okay. They'll both die really, really quick. We're up to over half shields now too, so not bad at all. Okay, so that should be no more dampening. And we can just freely shoot all of the things. And work down the last set of battleships, and then we'll get our final wave with our core or whatever admiral, Lord Admiral. Now on the final wave, if you kill the biggest battleship in the final wave, it finishes the site, so you don't have to kill everything. I'm going to kill everything for the sake of the salvage, which is why I'm out here. We need to build some rigs, so salvage it up. And we'll see what's going on here. Come on, you can shoot him. So even though this is the most expensive one, because there's 3 of them, I'm going to guess this is our trigger. Sometimes you guess wrong and it is one of these, but we will see. Either way, it's just battleships, so I'm not too worried. They are starting to tick away at a little bit of our shields. I'm watching for hits here. I'm still seeing them missing me though, so that's good. Kind of just distance tanking. If you want to mitigate a little more damage, you can just orbit one of your drones, but I don't like doing that because sometimes you'll be out of range when you go to pick them up, and then you have to mess with your positioning to go pick up your drones again. So I just sort of sit in the middle of them. They all stay within range, and when I need to pick up in GTFO, I can just press Shift R and get out. And it seems to work just fine for me. Took a couple more hits there. Getting in a little close. Come on, sentries. So like I said, this is great for a system like this. My Rattlesnake struggles a little bit and maybe just need more tank. But for these types of large amounts of ships, multiple waves, it's good to have this guy just sits out here and just peels them away. I'll make it more exciting for you guys by moving the camera around like this. Is that better? Now it looks like I'm doing stuff. Alright. Come on, get that Admiral down so we can do the next one. And I'm sitting there going, it would be really fast if I could get heavy drones on them, but the amount of time it would take a heavy drone to fly this whole distance, I'd probably have 2 battleships dead with the Warden by the time the heavy drones got into range. So that would be a fun experiment if we get 2 battleships out here, one Dominix with heavies and one with sentries, and just have one send their heavy drones, 100 kilometers away. See how that works out. See if we can kill stuff before they get there. But I mean, once they're in range, it'd go pretty quick, though, I imagine. But if you ever get in trouble and have to call them back, you'll be out here for an hour, waiting for them to travel back and forth. Alright, so either way here, one of these 2 will be the triggers, so get rid of that little thing there. The other thing I do sometimes when I'm sitting out here running missions in this Dominix is I open up Project Discovery and just make a little bit more ISK, you see? Just run this thing, and I got a good high score, so I can just run one of these little analyses and make a little bit of ISK. Just set it up so I can see what I'm doing. There you go. There's another, what? 100,000. There you go. So that's another thing I sometimes do when I'm grinding up missions, especially for ones when I'm going to salvage them, because you want to kill everything anyway. And I get the fancy skins and fancy ships. Maybe the Marshal will finally show up in the Project Discovery, and I can get myself a Covert Ops battleship that I'll never use to sit with the other 2 that I don't ever use. They're hangar queens. They just sit there and I spin them every once in a while saying, ooh, pretty. I do one day intend to fit up a pacifier. That's the frigate, right? The Covert Ops frigate. Just for some high-sec exploration, just for fun. Not because it's necessary, but because I have it. But that'll happen sometime in the future when I get bored and want to go do some scanning in high-sec. It won't be leaving high-sec because I don't want to lose it. Because, it's a 300 million ISK frigate, or 250 million ISK frigate. I don't want to get it blown up. So, one day I'll take it out and have fun with it. For now, it can sit and be pretty. I'll go look at it whenever I'm in the station it lives in. And yeah, other than that, I still have to I think I still have to train for an Enforcer, or can I fly it? I think I can fly. Yeah, I can now. Recon ships. I think I have all 4 races. Yeah, I can fly recon ships now, so yes, I can also fly the Enforcer now. I trained that up about a month ago, I think, just for the sake of being able to fly it. So if I ever get a Marshal, I'll have to train Black Ops battleships just so I can fly it. Okay, this guy's going down. He'll be the last one. Another shot here. Do we get another wave? Yep. And there he is. There's the mission complete trigger. So if I wanted to, and I will, just for the sake of this video, because we are running a little long. We're into the over 30 minutes, so I will just take out this Core Admiral and go cash in the mission. And here we go. So just take him down. We'll wait for the little green check mark, and we'll call it a day. But you can see we ran this site with 0 issues, and it's just all beautiful. So with this, because there's 3 battleships, once I had this guy dead and all these gone, maybe one of these other battleships, I'd fly in, jump back into range of the gate, and finish them off from close up, and then jump the gate when my jump drive is finished recharging. And that's that. He's about to go down, another couple shots. Come on, there you go. Come on. We're going to go ahead and select this, and we'll start getting ready to align. I have my bookmark. Oh, yes, I have my bookmark. So, come on. A couple more. And align. Come on, recall drones. And jump out. And that's the mission. So we left a little bit of salvage, but that's okay. It's only a couple battleships. So the other thing you can do, I don't know how well it worked, I've never tried it with this particular ship, is find the trigger battleship for each wave. Shoot them all down just to get to the final wave, shoot the Lord, and warp out. You can run the whole blockade pretty quick that way. I may try it one day before I get rid of this battleship, just for the fun of it. But we'll see. I might just keep it. I haven't decided. I'm pretty waffly that way, because I'll get rid of it, and then like 2 weeks later I'll feel like flying it again, so I have to go buy a new one. So I tend to keep ships most of the time just to have them in case I feel like flying them for some reason. But there we go. We finished up a blockade mission in the snipers, the way this ship is meant to be flown. It took about 30 minutes, which is pretty good. It seems to be about average. I could have probably blitzed through it in 10 minutes and probably gotten a little bit of trouble with all the jamming from all those cruisers we would have had. So that would have been my only concern about blitzing it, is all that jamming. Or not jamming, but dampening. But there we go. Cash it in, we'll get our ISK, we'll get our loyalty points, and that's that. And there's another 6,000 loyalty points. I just did cash in a whole bunch, so where are we at? Not ship insurance. So I'm already back up to over 12,000. That's about 3 missions from when I cashed them in. Alright. Well, I'm not going to make you guys come watch me salvage it. I'm just going to go ahead into my, my Noctis and go get all that salvage. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And take care of each other. Fly safe. I'm out of here.